There's going to be some tears shed here. I'm sorry. It's a story that I got to tell.
Jeff had never been outside Tolar, Texas. Never been near a place like Brazil. Suddenly, he's across the world, alone, dropped into chaos, carrying the literal weight of his coach, his life, and everything he was trying to become.
They called me. He died. He didn't make it. He didn't make it, man. He didn't make it. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
I called Travis. I didn't care what time it was.
This wasn't a vacation. It wasn't a dream trip. He didn't speak the language. He didn't know the streets. He didn't know a soul. All he knew was that he was there for one reason, to fight and make his coach proud.
Lay every bag down on the ground, lay on it, and I'm laughing as loud as I can and crying as loud as I can at the same time. I'm literally at some points laughing hysterically.
It's absurd. Your life has been shattered.
100%.
And now you can't find a fucking car.
That's exactly right.
Most people would have turned around, but Jeff pushed forward because that's who he is. A man built out of grit, pain, and heart. But what happened next, no one could have prepared him for.
Sir, can I help you? I'm going to tell this damn story one more time.
Yeah.
I get in the truck. My feelings truly come out now. I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm about to see everybody. Everybody that loved Brad.
Jeff, thanks so much for being here, dude.
Man, I love it, man.
It's been a long time since we saw each other.
Been a minute. Yeah.
I think we saw each other at Travis's deal with Jamie Cashin a couple years ago.
Yeah, the kickboxing.
The kickboxing deal. Yeah.
That's been a minute, and we're getting to the age where you forget things, you know.
I forgot if I had breakfast or not. Did I flush the toilet? Is the iron still on?
Right. Yeah.
So this is really interesting to me. So you and I knew each other like almost 30 years ago when we were young and stupid and running in the clubs.
Yeah.
And I was managing a club in the stockyards called the Palomino, and you and our good friend Andy were the bouncers.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes I'd pretend like I was a bouncer and I'd be hanging off the back of some big ass dude.
And we have to come save you.
You'd have to come save me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to come save y'all.
Right.
With whiskey.
That's exactly right.
But so you are a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion.
Masters world champion.
Masters world champion.
Yes.
Multiple years. What years did you become the world champions?
06 was purple belt.
Purple belt.
11 was brown belt. Both were in Brazil before they brought it to Vegas. Then 23, I actually got black belt champion. Luckily.
Oh, so tell me about that. Why was it luckily?
I was hurt.
You were hurt?
I was hurt. I had water on the elbow. I was literally draining it myself.
Okay.
The only reason why I still went was to show my son, you got to try.
Yeah.
I put on, I missed football games. I missed for training. I missed everything. I missed everything for training for him. Was there as much as I could, baseball. And there at the last 2 months, popped my elbow. My elbow looked like a balloon.
Ouch.
And didn't know how it was going to go. Wearing compression sleeves to get the water out. Didn't work. So I started to have to doctor myself like everybody knows I do.
Yeah.
And draw the fluid out. And I honestly just went out there to show him, don't give up.
How old's your son?
He's 19 right now. 19. Plays baseball at Oklahoma Westland.
Nice.
Yep.
And it turned out with a good end of the story, so you won.
The first match, nervous as all get out because I felt, there's a long story about me at the Worlds, but I did not feel whole. I didn't feel complete. So the first match, me winning the first match, was the turning point of I have a chance.
So after the first match, you felt like you had a chance to keep going?
After my coach, Travis Luter, came up, and, you know, he always knows what to say to me in the heat of battle to not get me going. I'm pretty good about going. It's believing in myself.
Yeah.
And he's able to say those key words that Travis knows how to say, and spark some belief.
Yeah. So tell everybody, we'll jump back to the Worlds, but I love Travis Luter. I mean, I loved watching him fight when he was younger, and I loved that fight. I think it was Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva, yes, sir.
Where he almost had him, and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to beat
Yeah.
Anderson
Yeah.
Silva. Tell us how you met Travis, and tell us who he is and where he comes from and all that, and how you ended up with him.
How I met him, I was working in Euless,
Texas.
Euless, Texas,
Yeah.
and I live in Toller, Texas, so it's about 2-hour drive. Every day I was driving and seen a big orange sign on the side of a building about halfway up on 121 that said Brazilian. I think it just said jiu-jitsu.
What year was this?
03.
03.
But I probably seen it in 02
Yeah.
and just drove by it and go, what's Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I honestly thought it was a fad of Taibo or
Oh, Billy Bang
I did not know what it was. You know,
Okay.
and I grew up in the martial arts since 11. You know,
Yeah.
so I thought I heard of most of everything, and you know, I was like, man, they could put up a better sign, whoever that is, you
Yeah.
know, and get people to believe in it. And that's when I learned some lessons in life of the sign doesn't have to be great.
Right.
It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to. If you got a hankering to see what something is, go find out yourself.
Yeah.
And walked in, and Travis, you know, got to meet Travis. It was a small school at the time. He was a purple belt, but purple belt back then was like a 4-stripe black belt now.
Yeah.
And had a talk, and you know, there's a going joke about me about Travis because he's like, you'll never stay. You live too far away.
So
You're-
he challenged you?
100%. You know, not in a bad way, but
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, you can sign up, but you live too far away. You'll never ever stay. You know, and 25 years later, or 23 years, whatever it
Yeah.
is, my math's bad on the spot, but whatever it is I'm still there. He's my first instructor, and now and I plan it to be my only instructor.
Yeah.
He saved my life.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to get into that, or you
Yeah.
want
Yeah. Coming from a small town, Andy, Tommy, everybody, it's easy to look like you have confidence. You know, we were a bunch of karate guys that were taught the best karate that we had in Granbury, Texas. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What was it, Kempo?
No, it was Shotokan karate.
Shotokan. That's right.
Then we studied Aikido.
Aikido. That's right.
And, you know, we believed in it wholeheartedly. 100%. That was it. We were kids.
Late 80s, early 90s?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I had to think back on that. I graduated in 91, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, you know, we were full of belief in what somebody taught us that was not so straight shooter. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I don't mean that bad. I just mean it's just, you know, just anyway. Once I met Travis, found out that we were missing a lot of components to be really good martial artists.
Yeah.
And ever since I've been able to express myself, I've wanted to be in the martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember you guys were badass. I mean,
we
you
thought
guys,
we were at the time. Yeah.
Well, you were.
Yeah.
But you guys were all reasonable and smart too. Well, except for Tommy.
we had the know-how. We just didn't. You can only be as good as who you're around.
Yeah.
And if you start believing, if you're around mid-grade people and you believe you're the champion, that's a bad mixture.
Yeah. You don't know what else is out there.
You don't know what else is out there.
Yeah.
And we thought, I don't want to answer for anybody, but I thought that I was decent. And when, there's a funny story about the Palomino, about my very first confrontation ever in the street. Wasn't against me. It was just a bar fight, but it wasn't aimed at me. But I remember my first couple nights that I literally threw a kick at somebody and stopped it like John Claude Van Damme on their head.
Right.
And didn't kick them.
I remember that. I was there. I was on the top.
And I was like, well, you're supposed to, in my head, I was like, you were supposed to stop. It was supposed to scare you into stopping. And the guy didn't stop. Now, I learned very fast, and I kicked him again for real. But how you train is how you're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I could turn it on, turn it off, do this, do that. And it's not true. You train. How you train is how you fight.
Yeah.
If you've trained mediocre, you'll fight mediocre.
So you met Travis in 03, and tell me, let's go back to how he saved your life.
Yeah. He showed me where I was at.
Okay.
And not just with martial arts, with life.
Wow.
He questioned, I don't mean he questioned me like you're a bad person.
Right.
But, oh, so you're going over here today. Then he would remember that. Well, how was that today?
Yeah.
Well, enough of that, you start being accountable.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because then, I didn't want to tell him I didn't go.
Right.
So it starts making you accountable.
Okay.
He makes you accountable. And with jiu-jitsu, it was just for me, a form of a brother.
Yeah.
Just like Tommy, Andy, we were brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was at this level of martial arts, it was real.
Yeah.
I remember the first time Travis needed sparring partners. He was quite not yet in the UFC, but he was fighting MMA back then, NHB.
NHB, yeah.
And he needed sparring partners. And my question was, I was a kickboxer for years.
Right.
And he was like, I need a sparring partner. And I was like, well, how hard do you want me to go? And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, well, how hard do you want me to go? I don't want to hurt you.
Right.
And he goes, I want you to spar me. I don't know what else that means.
Okay.
And he's like,
he's a pretty good sized guy too, though.
He's very good size, and he's just a solid man.
Yeah.
And I went in to spar him, and I remember the first kick I throw, I'm on my back and didn't know how to get up.
What did he do? He catch it and drop you?
Yeah. His whole premise was, I'm going to take you down, mount you, and submit you.
Okay.
And that's what he did. I had to learn how to wrestle. I had to learn how to get up. I had to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it was in your face real. He wasn't there to hurt you. He was there to train.
Yeah.
And he made you train if you wanted to be a part of the group. He didn't care if you won. He didn't care, nothing like that. He just wanted you to try as hard as you can, controlled as you can, going like you were fighting.
Right.
And it opened my eyes to, man, we weren't doing it right at all.
So can we go back to the life-saving part? Were you in a bad spot and he pulled you out, or what happened
The
there?
bad spot I was in is my whole world left.
Okay.
Tommy, Andy, I grew up.
Yeah.
Okay. More or less, I grew up. And my leader, my coach, my sensei at the time,
Right.
did some bad things to all of us, let us down.
Yeah.
I'm not downing nobody. I won't publicly. I don't like bullies. I'm not going to down somebody. But with all that, I'm the type of person, I've been coached since I've than 8 years old by somebody,
Right.
and I was lost. I was, my dad figure, so to speak, in the martial arts left,
Yeah.
and I
Was
didn't know what to
painful.
do. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was lost, and Travis was unbeknownst to him,
Yeah.
was
He was
that
the guy
guy.
that stepped in.
Yeah,
So were you, not to dig too deep,
No.
were you like depressed or suicidal or like just empty or?
empty,
Yeah.
empty. I did not have a direction. As a kid, I had a very bad reading problem. I'll still say I have a reading problem, but it's a lot better than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I had problems as a kid that probably nobody ever knew about. I moved out of my house and started living with my instructor. Tommy and Andy were there, at the age of 13.
Wow.
And
So bad home life and then martial arts kind of
good
gave us
good home life. I can't just not for the problems I had.
Okay.
I needed to grow up.
Okay.
I needed to know. I needed to know if I could do it on my own
Okay.
at 12.
Wow, that's pretty young.
sad. That's sad, but I needed to know that my problems reading and I was bald headed. I had, stress. I lost my hair at 12.
Oh, so you had stress,
It
alopecia?
was called alopecia areata,
Yeah.
is what it's called, and I looked like a mange head. And
Was it completely bald, or did
no,
you have
I looked
straggles?
I looked like Michael Myers had patches out of his head.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the going thing to shave your head
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So the reason why I wear a backwards hat, not because it bothers me today, is because from 13 through high school, I was allowed to wear a hat backwards because I was getting bullied so bad in school.
Wow.
Drowning in blue light. It's messing with your melatonin and focus. Find your calm. Protect your vibe with Lucia Eyes.
Grab a pair at luciaeyes.com. We block blue light, not sleep. Use code YALLCAST for 20% off.
I was bullied to the point of self-beating.
Oh.
I would beat myself up so they couldn't hurt me.
Tell me
worse.
about that. So what was the thinking behind hurting yourself so somebody else could?
I've always had a problem of not wanting to get in trouble.
Okay.
I don't want to go against any rule. I don't want to break rules. I want you to tell me the rules so I can follow them, so I don't get in trouble, because as a kid I had too many problems.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be a nuisance. So
Okay.
so I if I fought in school,
You're in trouble.
I was in trouble.
Mhm.
So I'd let them beat me.
Okay.
And it hurt.
Yeah.
Not necessarily physically, but mentally. It
Yeah.
hurt. Why was that person mad at me? Why is that person, doing whatever? So I came up with the brainy idea: if I beat myself up, calloused myself,
Yeah.
I could take the pain and not show remorse in front of them, not cry, not,
Yeah.
and people, I'm a very big crier,
Yeah.
but not when it hurts.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I cry because of joy.
Yeah, I do that too. So
Yeah.
did somebody tell you when you were young that, you were a nuisance?
Oh, I felt like my whole childhood was a nuisance.
Wow.
Doctors, everybody talked for me. Everybody answered for me. All the doctors would test me. Then go tell my parents,
And nobody would talk to you.
and nobody would talk to me.
Yeah.
And still to this day, if you want to make Jeff mad,
Don't talk to him.
don't answer for me.
Mhm.
Let if I'm going to dig a hole, let me say it. Let me say it.
Yeah.
Don't answer for me. Let me be man enough to draw the conclusion whether it's true or not. Yeah.
That's too much for a 12-year-old kid and younger to handle.
Yeah. But here's the kicker to all that. I'm the first person ever that you'll hear that say I was bullied to the point it was necessary.
Whoa.
Yeah. I hate bullies.
Yeah, me too.
I will be the first person to stick up if I see a
Yeah.
bully at work. If I believe every joke, a true joke, has merit behind it. So that snubbing, that I was just joking.
Mhm.
I don't believe in that kind of joking because there's true meaning behind it, and it hurts. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I needed to. I don't condone bullying. I don't like bullying. I want to stop bullying, but I don't think you're going to stop bullying. The strongest dog in the litter is usually the runt
Mm-hmm.
because they were picked on.
Yeah.
I don't condone it. I want to stop it, but I think sometimes it needs to. I was a person that needed to be bullied to show me I could grow.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
It does, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would.
I don't condone it. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
stop bullying.
Yeah.
But at the end, I'm not there at the end of my life, but
Right.
growing up, I like some of the outcomes that bullying showed me.
Yeah, it pushed you in a direction.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's a better way to word it. I mean, I don't condone bullying at all. I would stop it immediately if I seen somebody going through it. But you can learn everything painful
Yeah.
takes pain
Mm-hmm.
to get over it.
Right.
So, like, if you have knee surgery,
Yeah, it's painful.
it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to do rehab,
Which is more painful.
which is more painful to get you over
Yeah.
what hurt.
Right.
So, and I think so many people stop at, it hurts, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, it takes more pain in a different way.
But kids don't understand that. And so growing up, especially even if you had a learning disability,
Yeah.
having trouble to read,
Yeah.
and then so is that where you went searching for something and found martial arts, or was
Okay. The funny thing about martial arts is I think I found martial art. I didn't find martial arts. I knew I loved martial arts from the time I could express myself. Before I knew I had a problem, I fell off a slide when I was a kid, and who knows what happened. I was pushed by a loved one, not meaning to, as a kid. I'm guessing 3 years old, 4 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And fell on my head. I got pictures of me wrapped up in the head, and my mom thinks that had a lot to do with all my
So maybe
learning.
some brain damage
Yeah,
there.
something to do with it. It was one of those big metal slides that was
Oh, yeah.
15 foot tall and
It's old
landed on
school.
pea gravel, and
Yeah. Old school ones that are 160 degrees.
yeah, the ones that take your skin off. Yes, but I don't blame anything. I am who I am because of what I went through, and I feel like I've made the right decisions to not blame anybody, and took everything away that I needed to change my stars.
Yeah. So
If that makes sense.
yeah, totally. And I've got a whole list of questions
Yeah.
here, but I love this direction
Yeah.
because it's exactly what we're trying to do here
Yeah.
for our audience
Yeah.
is give them some stories, some ideas, some challenges,
Yeah.
struggles, even trauma, and then what was the outcome and what you did to overcome it.
Yeah.
So what year, how old were you when you started martial arts?
11.
11 years old.
Okay. True story. Got my first book of martial arts. Still got it today from my mom because we couldn't afford nothing.
Yeah.
So gi and a book.
Yeah.
And I remember opening the book, couldn't read a word,
Yeah.
could not read a word of true story. I'll come back. I've never read a book cover to cover
Okay.
in my life.
Yeah.
It stresses me out too much.
Yeah.
But true story of the book is I started looking at pictures and teaching myself whatever I thought the book said.
Wow.
Yeah, then
So that was before 11.
self-taught karate before 11, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember making nunchucks out of broomsticks,
We did that
chains,
too,
and
yeah.
trying to mimic whatever I seen Bruce Lee do.
Okay, so movies and TV played a
Yeah.
big part.
And what's sad about that is movies still play a big part of me learning.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just pick the movies that I like to learn from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not martial arts, but
Yeah.
live.
So, man, I didn't even know that
Yeah,
part of your story.
I hit
Yeah.
it. Other than the backwards hat, because you cannot tell anybody that you know me without a backwards hat on.
Yeah. You always had a hat on.
Yeah, and it was I stopped hiding my bald spots once I was okay with me,
Yeah.
which was about 20-ish.
What were the top 2 or 3 things that helped you get to be okay with you?
Trying new things, friendships that nobody judged me.
Yeah.
Being accountable if you messed up.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is nowadays we tell people it's okay to mess up. That's the best way to learn. That's what we tell people.
Didn't do
But
that
it's-
before.
But as soon as we mess up today, somebody wants to fry your butt.
Yeah, well, when we were kids, messing up wasn't okay. I
Right.
mean, now that's different. Okay, go figure out how to fail.
Yeah, but back in the day, they tell you it wasn't okay to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But they, on the backside of you failing, probably wouldn't rub it in as bad.
True. Yeah.
But now they tell you don't fail, but they'll fire you first thing you're
Yeah.
messing up.
Right.
So we're not walking the walk of what we're talking. And if you read my Facebook, is I tell stories all the time about my childhood, and I get compassion. I don't want compassion. That story is there to help somebody, not. I've already been through it.
Mhm.
I'm already over what I just wrote about.
Yeah.
I don't want compassion. I want somebody to pass that story forward that needs it.
Yeah.
I don't need somebody to feel. I want people to feel sorry for me if I'm going through something. That's not what I'm. But
Yeah.
I don't need somebody's blessing of what happened 20 years ago.
Yeah. So I get the telling the story to help somebody overcome
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So trying new things, that I can see that helping most people overcome a fear and apprehension. So
I had to be good at everything I did as a kid.
yeah.
Reason why? Because I failed at reading.
Yeah.
I got bullied. I was already bad at the things that I wanted to be. Had Tommy and Andy that were better at martial arts. In my head, I don't know who
Yeah.
was better,
Right.
but they were better. They were making me work for it. Nowadays, they say I'm better.
You are.
Okay, but at the time,
I don't want to tussle with you.
at the time of a kid, I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah.
So I had to be a better water skier. I had to be a better, whatever it was that we did.
Yeah.
I would kill myself
Trying
trying
to
to
be
be
better.
better. I mean, I don't mean faking it. I mean literally getting out there and
Working
busting
hard.
my- work
Yeah.
hard at it.
So let's
Bloody knuckles.
Yeah. So knowing what you know now, if you were to go back in time, you right now, as you going back to that little 11-year-old kid, what would you want that little 11-year-old kid to know?
A lot of things. The biggest thing I can say is enjoy the process. And, that's why I say the bullying. I don't condone bullying. I don't, anything about bullying, I want it to stop. But the reality of bullying, you ain't going to stop it.
No, I know, but like, so there's a lot of fear and apprehension and self-doubt, and like with the head injury and the reading issues, what would you tell that kid now?
Yeah. Enjoy the process of learning how to read.
So
It was
how-
all stress.
Yeah.
Somebody would put a book in my head, in my hands, and I was ready to fight you.
Okay.
I mean, literally, I would literally stand up in class when we had to read. I still will not read out loud unless
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust Andy and Tommy more than anybody from my childhood, and I don't know if I would read in front of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So the process of learning how to read, I was swept under the rug in school. They didn't have the classes they do now. They don't
Yeah.
have the technology they did. I was swept under the rug, and I either had to read.
Because you were a nuisance.
In my head, I was a
Yeah.
nuisance. I don't know if I was a nuisance. In my head, I was a nuisance.
Yeah.
I had trouble, so I didn't ever get to enjoy the
Okay.
process
Yeah.
of
all right.
anything. I either had to be
of the
good
fear
at something.
or
100% of fear.
okay.
And people like to divide anxiety and fear and scared. It's all anxiety is usually scared of something before you ever did anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And nobody wants to admit that. Well, I got anxiety. You're scared
Mm-hmm.
of before you do something you've never done before.
Right.
That's what that is.
What do you tell kids? Because you teach kids right now, so you teach jujitsu, right?
Honestly, I don't tell them nothing. You know
Oh, you
what?
don't?
This is what, in a different way, and I
Okay.
don't know how to. I don't know how to tell you on a microphone of. I get up there and I start doing it, and they follow.
Wow.
That's how I tell them.
Yeah.
I take if I get somebody that's apprehensive like me, because there's some people that just go do it,
Right.
But if I see the apprehensiveness, I quit talking. Because I can see it stresses them out, and I don't tell them to follow me. I don't tell them to mirror me because that's somebody's already made them feel bad. I just start doing it,
Okay.
and guess what?
They figure it out?
They start doing it.
Okay.
They just start doing it.
What do you think melts away the fear then when they're apprehensive?
When they know it's everything in life. Everything in life, in my head, is based off trust.
Mm.
If they trust you to not make fun of them, to not down them, to not
Right.
whatever,
Right. They're going to try.
they're going to open up.
Yeah.
And even adults,
Yeah.
I've even seen, okay, not even adults, also adults.
Especially adults.
We get jaded and we start protecting ourselves
Yeah.
because something bad's happened to us, and we want to know that we fit in, but we act like we're tough. That's where I say Travis saved my life. Is I don't. Okay, I tell everything with analogies, and I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I
So-
love analogies.
So I sat down in a bar with a coworker one day, and we're drinking after, having a drink after work, and he goes, he knows what I do, and he said, "So when you are in a bar and somebody walks in, do you size them up?" I said, "No, I'm having a beer."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Really, man? I would size everybody up to see if I could beat them up." I said, "I used to do that at Blue Belt.
Okay.
I did, 100% at Blue Belt. I sized everybody up." He goes, "So what do you do now?" I say, I'm having a beer.
You're having a beer.
I don't have to worry
Right.
about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about. Now, I'm not saying I'm not worried about it, but my thought process is I've done the work. I've trained as hard as I can train. I don't feel incomplete.
Oh.
Anytime I felt complete or anytime I felt incomplete is when I had all the bad thoughts.
Well, that's interesting because jiu-jitsu is really good at exposing
Your weaknesses.
openings and weaknesses, and
That's why I love it.
yeah, and it's really a thinking man's sport too, because you could be working on one thing with your legs and setting something else up with your arms, and it actually is like chess on the ground. And I think with the kids, once something clicks and they get it,
Yeah.
I could see that changing.
Yeah. And, I'm not a chess player. I would like to say I know what it's like for chess. I want to go there, but to me, it's like driving a standard car that you have to use the clutch,
stick
the
shift,
brake.
yeah.
You have to do multiple things.
Yeah.
And to get the gears to quit grinding,
Yeah.
or the car to start bumping, you have to learn how to manipulate everything with every part of your body.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
love to say chess, but I'm not smart enough to play chess.
Oh, yeah, you are. You're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
world champion multiple times. You're smart enough to do it. So I guess we can shift off. That's really cool. I did not know that part of your story. And thank you so much for being open enough to share this. And I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of kids helped from it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want help as a kid, the best advice I can give you is don't stop and work. Find something you like. I don't care if you stink at it. If you truly love it, keep working at it. You'll get good at it eventually.
Yeah.
It's how much you. The only reason why I've been anything, if I've been anything in martial arts, is because I never stopped.
Yeah.
I've been going solid since I started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, tell me what's the number one thing you see with like kids who are insecure or weaker? What's the biggest aha that the kids who do martial arts, specifically jujitsu, come away with when they stick with it? Let's say, you know, you got a new kid who's brand new white belt, trying to figure it out. What's the biggest thing after 6 months or a year that these kids walk away with that's different than what they started?
Wow. Maybe I can start, and I'm trying to find an answer that I understand the question. I will say this, maybe it'll roll me into a answer. I've never seen a bully stick with jujitsu.
Okay.
They always quit in the first. They might get their blue belt early from some instructor because they're talented.
Yeah.
I've never seen a bully progress.
Okay.
They always quit. The ones that struggle, the outcasts,
Yeah. The
like I was,
fringe kids.
the ones that they already know what pain is. They're just looking something to attach to. They will find a family. They will find a meaning. They came in to learn self-defense.
Yeah.
They will come in, and 6 months later will have a family that backs them, which will make their jujitsu better.
That's
what I
awesome.
found.
That's awesome. So the kids find a community where they're accepted, and if they stick at it and work at it, they become part of that community.
And eventually get what they want. I think that's I never do anything to help anybody to get something in return.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. But other than my help is not free, but it's pretty much free.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy watching you grow.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like you're going to grow from what I'm showing you, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, and these people that come in that are missing something in their life find everybody in jiu-jitsu has a story.
Right.
Not the same story,
Yeah.
but we can all get together, different beliefs, different views, different everything, but we can still help each other, still worry about your family, my family, and still work to get better at a martial art.
So what's the number one thing that you most enjoy seeing in this development with these kids? What's the thing that you see that you're like, oh, that's really awesome?
The confidence that it brings. I wish, like people with weight, trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
they'll take a before picture and after picture.
Yeah.
I don't take pictures, but I do. They're a white belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I will literally, once they hit a certain level, ask them, do you remember that person that first walked in?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that person? If you don't, you need to relearn that person.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person?
Oh, awesome.
You know what I mean? It's very intimate.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
That's a great word.
intimate. You have to look inside yourself to grow in jiu-jitsu. It's that intimate. It's that. That's why bullies don't like it, is because it shows you who you truly are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I always tell Andy, it's only gay if you make eye contact.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, let's go back. Thank you for sharing. That was really, really cool. So shifting out back to getting to the position where suddenly now you're good enough and you're going to go to this world championship in Brazil.
Yeah.
Tell me that story. What's that like the first time going there and competing?
You don't want to know that story. I'm going to tell it.
Okay. All right. Well,
but there's going to be some tears shed here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It's a story that I got to tell. So you're asking what it's like. You're going to get it.
Okay.
So I'm 30. I'm bad with math here, so help me out.
All right.
So it's 06. We're training for the Pan American Games out in California, and Brad Rehor is a mentor of mine. Travis Luter is my coach.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brad wants to go to the Pan Ams and talks me into it, and my son is due this, so this had to be 05. So my son's due in January of 06. So
Okay.
pardon my timeline
Yeah,
under
you're
pressure.
fine.
And anyway, we train for the Pan Ams. I'm a purple belt. We go out there and I win the Pan Ams at my age group, my level. So I'm not just saying Pan Ams, I won everything.
Right.
It's belt level.
Yeah.
Okay. I win it, and I win the there's your division, then there's the open class of all the purple belts, your age, whatever weight division. So I win it. So we get back home, and Brad goes, "You're going to the Masters." I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's in Brazil. I've been for the last 10 years or 9 years, whatever it was. And I want you to go with me. I think you can win." "Where's it at?" He goes, "Brazil." I'm like, "Oh, wow. You're talking to a country boy." I said, you're gonna have to help me out,
Yeah.
And I'm on a plane to Brazil, and like I said, timelines into August, early September, going to Brazil. It's gonna be hot down there.
Yeah.
Nobody tells me nothing. It's their winter. Now, I don't mean it's like cold. It's just you can go in the ocean, but it's really cold. But nobody tells me it's their winter.
Right.
So once this story starts, I'm sorry if I cry because it's tough.
Okay.
We get to in Brazil. We're staying in Baja, and we get there, and we're staying at the Sheraton Baja, and we walk in, and what can I say and can I say on this
Anything
thing?
you want to.
Okay, so we're on the elevator because I've never got to say this story.
Say anything you want except the N word.
Yeah, I'm not that way, but I will say prostitute. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Some hoes.
So, we get off the plane, get everything together. A driver picks us up, and I think his name's Carlos, and I'm sorry, but I'm under pressure here.
You're good.
Brad has had this driver for the last 9 years, so he knows Brad personally. It's not just a driver. We're going to call him Carlos, and I'm sorry I'm getting your name because he's important later. So we get in the elevator. He's carrying our bags, and this lady in the elevator steps up to Brad, and I don't know what's going on. I'm from Texas, from the country,
Mm-hmm.
and he's literally patting her on the head, laughing as loud as he can get. And when I say laughing, Brad laughs like, okay? And he's just laughing, patting her on the head, and she walks off at the next floor and gets off. Well, I was like, "Did you know her?" And he goes, "No, Jeff, that was a hooker, and she was asking me for something," and that's how he put it, something. And he said no, and just laughed it off and patted her on the head. So I wish somebody would make a movie out of this somehow.
Okay.
But anyway, we get into the room. time to train. We go to Gracie Baja,
Okay.
which
Cool.
is the school.
deal.
The school.
Yeah.
And I've got pictures of it. And I watched Brad kick everybody's rear nicely.
Yeah.
I don't mean kicked his rear like we're
Yeah.
there
Not
to
a
show up.
right.
But he was down there to win his 10th world title.
Wow.
And he literally, everybody said no more or less.
Yeah.
And I'm a purple belt and I'm rolling with the black belts and did okay.
Yeah.
You know, it gave me a little confidence
Yeah.
how well I did, not sizing myself up.
Right.
I'm still nervous.
Yeah. Of course.
Anyway, we go eat, get done. I do not at the time know what a CPAP machine is.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So we got same room, twin beds or two queens, whatever it was. And he's like, man, I'm sorry if this bothers you. And I'm like, what? And he goes, my CPAP machine. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So anyway, find out what it is. And this is where the timeline gets off. So bear with me. In the middle of the night, I hear him gasping for air,
Yeah.
sits up, rips off his headset. And you okay? And he goes, man, heartburn, bad heartburn. So I go back to bed, wake up early. Everybody knows I'm early, 6 o'clock. And he's in there in the living room with his feet up on the couch, laying down on the ground. So you all right, man? He goes, man, heartburn, just bad heartburn. He goes, he was one of these cats that didn't want you to see him hurt.
Okay.
He didn't want to bother you. He was
Right.
a man, and he's like, go get a massage or something. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I go get a massage. Never
Okay.
had a massage in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did what he said to do.
All right.
So I come back to the room. He goes, man, heartburn still, man. Go take a swim or something. Okay. Never swam at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I'll go swim.
Okay.
Come back from swimming, he's gone.
Oh, he passed away?
No. Not yet.
Oh, shit.
Not yet. He's gone out of the room. And I was like, and that's what I mean by I wish somebody would make a story out of it, because there's amazing, funny stories in the time of amazing, sad stories.
Okay.
I want people to know the story. So I'm like, that son of a gun went to eat without me, and I'm starving. I've been to a dang massage. I've been to swimming, and I wasn't going to go eat without him, and he decided to go eat.
Yeah. Through his heartburn.
Right. And I was like, that,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a word with him, you
right.
know. So I walked downstairs, and about that time, the driver comes up to me and almost tackles me. We got to go. We've been looking for you. Where you been? I'm like, I was doing what what's wrong? He's like, Cardio Baja. We went to the hospital, the heart hospital. They took him in an ambulance and went, and he's having a heart attack. So they rushed me in there in the emergency room. He hands me his wallet and his keys and literally says, do not pay them anything. Period. Here's my stuff. I was like, okay. So now I'm freaking out. Not physically, just
Yeah.
I'm a country boy. What am I doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're hooking him up to 1950s EKG. And when I mean 1950s, ours are little sticky pads.
Yeah.
They have Uga horns looking suction
suction
things.
cups. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what those were. And when I mean IVs, they're still in a glass bottle versus the bag.
Yeah.
So they're 50 years behind us
Right.
in that sense. I don't mean the tech.
Yeah,
They
right.
had great other stuff, but they still using anyway. They take him back, put a stent in. Now he's in ICU. They bring me back and go, look, and they're showing me on the screen, we need to stabilize him, but he needs to get back as soon as he can for his doctors to do whatever they're going to do. But he cannot leave this hospital for 24 hours
Okay.
to stabilize him, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to talk to him, and I'm back there in ICU. So ICU, they have a bad tendency for people storming into ICU to grab all the drugs.
Oh,
So they have armed guards with AK-47s or
yeah,
some sort of machine gun
right,
at the door. Unbeknownst to me, nobody tells me the rules.
right.
You know, and this is back in the day when the Razor was popular instead of the iPhone.
Right.
We had the little Razors. He wakes up, and I was like, he goes, man, call my wife. And I'm like, you call your wife.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to her. And I said, he goes, give me the phone. So when I bring out the phone, the two guards come storming over to us because you're not supposed to have a cell phone in ICU because it's a security
Okay.
breach thing. So I'm literally holding back two guys with AR-14s or whatever they
Yeah.
are by the neck, and I'm holding them back so they couldn't grab the phone
So he can call his wife.
so he can call his wife. But I went from Tolar, Texas, in the matter of 24 hours, I'm holding back some
In a foreign country.
foreign country, holding back two dudes with machine guns. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's culture shock is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. So anyway, we're sitting there, talks to his wife. Hey, you know, of course he's saying everything's going to be okay. The doctors are saying everything's going to be okay. You know, and that's what the doctors were saying. And he's like, so you ready to compete tomorrow?
Hell no.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He goes, I'll put it this way, Jeff. Either you're going or I'm going. You pick.
Wow.
So I start crying. And I go, Brad, because you're telling me, I'll go.
Yeah.
But don't get mad at me when I screw it up
Okay.
because I'm supposed to be here helping you.
Yeah.
He goes, okay.
Drowning in blue light. It's messing with your melatonin and focus. Find your calm. Protect your vibe with Lucia Eyes.
Grab a pair at luciaeyes.com. We block blue light, not sleep. Use code YALLCAST for 20% off.
Kind of like Travis would say, whatever you think,
Yeah.
cool, but go. So he pays the driver to take me to Tijuca Tennis Club, I think
Yeah.
it was the name of it. And I'm sitting there in Brazil without Brad,
Yeah.
with a driver that anytime we talk, it's not talking, it's charades. It's handheld charades because he's Portuguese and I'm
Yeah. Texan.
Texan, very Texan. And it's like, I was like, I just need to know when they call my name.
Yeah.
So the whole day I hear, you know, hearing these Gracie Baja, you know, and I don't know what they're saying. I
Yeah.
just hear the roar of the crowd. I'm not warming up.
Yeah. Your buddy's in the
My-
hospital in ICU.
Yeah, right, 100%. And I go down there to lose my first match. Literally, that's how I was thinking.
Yeah.
To go lose my first match so I could get back to him. Well, unbeknownst to me, the guy that didn't know it. I've been to one tournament, maybe two tournaments in my life, 2 Pan Ams, one, you know, and I just don't know, you
Yeah.
know, and they bracket you. I'm an unknown, so I'm last seat.
Right.
Well, the first seat always goes with the last seat.
Okay.
Okay, so the guy that's supposed to win it is
Goes with-
going up against a nobody,
Which is you.
which is me.
Yeah.
So I go and win. And I win with a belly down arm bar
Okay.
that I've never, ever been shown. Nobody ever shown me a belly down arm bar. So the second match comes up. I don't remember the second match, but I won with a belly down arm bar.
Wow.
Never been shown a belly down arm bar. Not in entirety. You know,
Yeah.
nobody said this is a belly down arm bar. Anyway, get it to the last match. Once I get to the last match, I'm okay, I can do this. Then we can go see Brad.
Yeah.
You know, this is the fastest. So he's not mad at me.
Yeah.
I've got to finish
Right.
so I can get back to Brad. So I end up winning
Jeez.
with the belly down arm bar again
Oh my gosh.
that
dude.
I've never been shown.
What the hell?
Oh, no, 100%. And so the driver, go get dressed. I said, I'm dressed. I want Brad
Yeah.
to see
Right.
how I am,
Yeah.
how I was,
Right.
just like this.
Yeah.
So we take the 30-minute trip back to Baja from wherever Tajuca Tennis Club is. And I go in the ICU and I'm tippy-toeing,
Yeah.
it's 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and I stick my head around the corner and he's asleep.
Okay.
And I try to tippy-toe out and the nurse goes, nope. You're going to wake him up and you're going to answer him because every time he wakes up, he wants to know how you're doing.
Wow.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
So I wake him up, got a picture of it, and he goes, how'd you do? Of course, he sees the medal, and he starts crying.
Oh, dude.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I said, hey, calm down. We're going home in the morning, buddy. I'll be here at 6 o'clock. Oh, no, you got the absolute tomorrow. I said, yeah, I got to absolutely go to the airport with you
Yeah.
and get your ass home is what I got to absolutely
Yeah.
do. Okay. Reality's setting in,
Yeah.
I did something for him,
Right.
and I got to make the walk back to the hotel. And this is what I was saying. I wish somebody'd make a movie out of this because you're taking somebody from Tolar, Texas that don't know a
Yeah.
dang thing about, I'm pretty naive, put it that way,
Yeah.
about, I've seen some things, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like whatever that thing's called in Louisiana, the Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's what the strip is like in Baja, is like you'll see anything let's just leave it at that. You'll see anything you want to. But I didn't know I had to walk down it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm in the mind state of kicking a can. I'm kicking a can back to the hotel, which is about a 1.5 mile walk from Tarjo, Baja, and walk through this thing that I've never seen before in person, and get back to the room. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, they call me. He died.
Oh, shit.
And I'm sorry I don't remember the Machado brother's name that called me, but his English was very Portuguese.
Yeah.
He didn't make it.
Damn it.
Who didn't make it? I woke it up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who was coming?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Confused.
Long day, emotional day. He didn't make it. That's all he could say. He didn't make it, man. He didn't make it. I'm sorry. And I didn't care. Let me get that.
Yeah.
I called Travis. I didn't care what time it was.
Yeah.
Oh, does that make sense?
Yep.
I called Travis. Unfortunately, I said the same thing that was just said to man. Man, he didn't make it. He was like, who? Brad.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. He died. And that's another thing that I mean by Travis saved my life. He's always answered when I called him.
Yeah.
Of course, I've always answered when he's called me too.
Yeah.
And so he calls his wife.
Oh, shoot.
Travis calls his wife. Luckily, we have somebody else. We're not staying together. We're not seeing each other together, but we have another guy in Brazil from Travis's that helped with getting the casket together. And
Oh, my gosh, dude.
yeah, signing the death certificate.
Oh, my gosh. That's brutal.
Yeah. So now I got to make the long trip home
With your buddy?
without my buddy.
Oh, without your buddy.
They're not sending him yet.
Okay.
So 9/11 just happened more or less. I
Yeah,
mean,
a few
we're
years ago.
we're still confused in the airport, and I've got 6 bags
Oh, all his shit. Yeah.
instead of my 3 bags and his 3 bags. 'Cause you only could have 3 bags or whatever the number was.
Yeah.
So I'm saying bye to the driver, and I know what's about to happen. And I said, can you please tell one person to follow me around until I get on the plane to explain all this, why I have too many bags to somebody.
Right.
Oh, yes, my friend. Oh, yes. Didn't happen.
Oh,
Didn't happen. So every time you got too many bags, go to the next person. You got too many bags.
yeah.
So I'm having to relive this story
Every time.
every 10 minutes
Yeah.
through the line. I just wanted to tell it once. Anyway, finally get on the plane. Then the funny stuff happens when I land. And I don't mean it's funny, but you just got to see the humor in it.
Yeah, let's end on that. Tell me the funny stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty kick in the stomach here.
You got to see the funny parts in a humorous way because of me going through it.
Yeah.
So I get home, and when somebody literally says they kissed the ground when they got home,
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
You bet you did.
I fell down to my knees and kissed the damn ground.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to take anything away. I did call my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget her. She helped me through
Of course.
this. We were about to, we just had Jessie.
Yeah.
So I don't want to forget her. She was a big support of me getting through it. But
Dude, what a crazy story. So you go
far,
from freaking the excitement of competing in the Pan Am
I
to
didn't get
now.
to enjoy it. Kind
Yeah.
of like my childhood when I told you about the kids. Learn to love the process. I never got to enjoy winning.
Yeah.
I don't regret it now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, tell me the funny part.
Yeah, so you got to see the funny part. It's nothing's funny about the story, but you got to see the funny part. So I get to the airport or get off the plane, get onto the ground. I got Brad's keys in my hand.
Mm.
Don't know where he parked.
Oh, boy.
Because why? Because when he dropped me off, he said, hey, let me drop you by the curb and I'll go park. So literally,
You're at DFW Airport.
I'm at DFW Airport at the international side of it. I do not know where Brad parked.
5 terminals.
100%. So now I literally, if I'm lying, I'm dying, lay every bag down on the ground, lay on it, and I'm laughing as loud as I can and crying as loud as I can at the same time. And I'm
That's
there.
the appropriate reaction.
I'm there for 30 minutes. No, I'm literally at some points laughing hysterically at Brad, going, you did this shit on purpose. It's not comical. That's not what I
No,
mean.
it is comical.
But-
I mean, like, you
yeah.
can't, it's absurd. Your life has been shattered.
100%.
And now you can't find a fucking car.
That's exactly right. So this lady that works there, after about 30 minutes of me laughing and crying, comes by and says, sir, can I help you? Very skittishly.
Yeah, I bet.
And I was
You
like,
look like a crazy person, I'm
yeah.
sure.
And, as big as I am, nobody wants to come talk to me
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, you can help me. I'm going to tell this damn story one more time.
Yeah.
And I told her the full story. I can't not tell the story.
Yeah.
I've done told it 19 times to get here.
Yeah.
She goes, you damn right I can help you. Let me go get a golf cart. So we literally drive up and down aisles
Beep, beep, beep,
beep, beep, beep, to try to find this damn truck.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Jeff.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. So now I'm already on the phone every step of the way trying to help any way I can with his wife
Yeah.
and his daughters at the time was 12,
Yeah.
somewhere around in there. So I'm trying to console them through text or calls anytime they wanted to know something, anytime we were talking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wanted them to feel that I had this shit handled.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm not letting them see me stressing out.
Right.
I've got the shit handled.
Yeah.
But external, when nobody's around,
Yeah.
I lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess that's how a man's supposed to do it, right?
Yeah.
So now I get in the truck. My feelings truly come out now. I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm about to see everybody. And when I mean everybody is supposed to be at the house that loved Brad.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
100%. So
So you got a gold medal and a casket.
don't have the casket yet, but I have his luggage
Yeah.
and his truck. So literally drive up to his house, get his bags out, and I literally stand there for 30 minutes before I rang the doorbell I didn't put the bags on the ground.
Yeah.
I had the bags in my hand, staring at the door for 30 minutes.
Trying to figure out how to
How to
handle that.
knock.
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah.
knock? Now, I would not change this for a bit. Nothing about this story other than bringing him home alive.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I would change. But I knock and the daughter answers because she knew it was going to be me. You know, because we're texting. I'm on my way,
Yeah.
out, whatever it was to their house. And she answers. Of course, we hug.
Mm.
Of course, we embrace and sorry. And she literally immediately opens the bags and go, "What gi did my dad wear?"
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart. Mm.
She puts it on,
Yeah, I bet she did.
and then I start showing him pictures. And
Yeah.
I'm not a picture guy.
Yeah.
I took maybe 4 pictures the whole time I was there, and thank God I did.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I mean, people
Yeah.
want to know. They want to have some
people wanna know,
connection to
and
it.
I wanted to. It wasn't supposed to be me there to do this, but it was me there.
Yeah.
So now let's go through my feelings. If I wouldn't have gone back to the hotel, he'd still be alive because I wouldn't have got him excited and cried, and
Yeah.
I felt like I killed him.
No, you didn't. No
No.
way. No.
So this was a thing about me that I thought I killed him. I mean, for the first 5 years after, I thought if I wouldn't have gone back to the hospital to see him, if I wouldn't have won, if I wouldn't have got him excited, that I wouldn't, he'd still be here. Well, fast forward, he was postponed on the docks for a couple of days because of a holiday when he was coming back in the casket. Matter of fact, they had to build him a special casket because they couldn't fit him in a regular one.
Big old boy.
Big old boy. He dwarfs, he was big at the time. And I don't mean fat big. He was just a big dude. And so they get him. There's a story about that. They had to rent a U-Haul and drive him back up there to Iowa in a U-Haul because it wouldn't fit in a normal.
Wow, in a hearse.
Hearse.
Wow.
And anyway, the coroner up there I'm talking from hearsay now. I don't know facts, but from what I heard, knew him personally. And when they opened to identify Brad, nobody could see him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's been too long.
Yeah.
I don't know how to word that any.
Just didn't look good.
Didn't look good.
Yeah.
And so I was the last one to see him.
Oh, that's tough too.
Knowing that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been the last one to see him. His daughter and wife should have.
Well,
That's how I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure they were super grateful they had you, a compassionate, caring
So-
person that was
so,
there with them.
And I'm just talking my view,
Yeah.
just like I did my view as a kid.
Mm.
I'm not saying it was right,
Yeah.
but why me? Why was I the lucky one? I don't mean lucky and like he died. I just mean, why was I the last one to see him and nobody else wasn't? And I'm sure that's how people feel in traumatic. Why did I survive and he
Right.
didn't? Well, that's how I mean it. Is I shouldn't have I loved him. Travis loved him. Everybody loved him, but his wife and kids should have seen him. That's how I thought. So I put the pressure on me. It was my fault. Blame me. My fault.
How'd you get over that?
Travis. He saved my life.
Yeah.
years. I was supposed to go professional and fighting, and I don't know if I'd have made the UFC. Had opportunities. Uh, I wasn't. I don't mean I was mentally messed up as far as I didn't have a drinking problem. I didn't do drugs.
Still a
I
lot
just
to
couldn't
carry,
do it.
dude.
I couldn't do it without him.
A lot to carry.
I couldn't do it without him. I was supposed to go professional. I had to fight. Just I wasn't over him dying on me.
Well, it's such a. I mean, you've got so many things that had happened all in that short period of time. That's
Yeah.
too much for anybody to carry.
Yeah.
How do you?
Thank God I did though.
Yeah, no, I know. So
Yeah.
grateful that you're there
Yeah,
for him and
yeah.
for that experience.
Honor. I
How do
wouldn't
you
change it.
how do you put that? Because it seems like you're still carrying a lot of it. How do you put that down every day? I mean, it is a super sad story. How do you handle putting that down?
Well, there was stages. I mean, like I said, for the first 5 years, I thought I killed Brad.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I kept everything that I had of his. I had 6 geese of his that he gave me. I kept everything. I don't mean a shrine. I don't mean I had a shrine.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean. But everything was Brad's. That was Brad's. That was Brad's. All mine. Whatever I could get a hold of that was Brad's, I wanted it. Then one day I woke up and said, I need to give that away. He would not want me to have that. He would want me to help somebody with it.
Yeah.
So I started giving geese away. And hey, if you ever get rid of it, remember it came from give it to somebody else
Right.
or give it back to me. One of the two.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And
So how does I know you pay it forward. I can see that. I can
100%,
feel
yeah.
that in you. How do you pay it forward now? All these experiences. What's your
tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I tell the truth. That technique came from Travis. That technique came from Brad. That's how I keep him alive. I honor him with the truth.
Yeah.
I don't steal anything.
Yeah.
Other than the belly down arm bar and my side control pressure.
Yeah.
My shoulder pressure. I literally just I think of Brad. I used to think of Brad in a way of I got to say his name or I'm going to die.
Okay.
That's how I used to do it.
That's a lot of pressure.
Every day was I had to say his name or I wasn't okay.
Okay. How do you do it today?
Just the truth, because it works out in the end. So what I mean by that is it's just like being ready in that bar. Remember the story about 30 minutes ago about being ready?
Yeah.
It works out because you're teaching a technique and they go, well, where'd you learn that? And I go, Brad. It just kind of works out where if you're honest and you're not scared anymore like I was, it just comes out in the normal everyday. I don't have to honor him because it will come out
And day to day.
And that's how I got over it is I can tell the story now. For years I couldn't tell the story.
Yeah, it's still challenging. It's funny. I have like all these questions. We're gonna have to come back and do a part 2.
Yeah, I understand.
This was
I'm
the
sorry.
heavy.
Yeah,
No, I'm so glad it went in this
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
I know this is gonna help a ton of people out there
I hope,
because there's
yeah.
a lot of people who carry these heavy weights, and I completely applaud and commend you for being so vulnerable to share such a heavy duty story because here you are. You're a badass. You're a giant dude who's a badass, who's been in multiple fights, won championships, and you're opening yourself up. For a lot of people out there, that's a scary thing. That's a really scary thing.
Okay, we're going back to that. I don't think it was scary when I wasn't ready.
Yeah. Well, there's
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of
trying
people
to
out
put-
there who aren't ready.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is everybody? Well, this is what I would do. That you don't know what you're going to do until it happens. If you would have told me, "Hey, this guy's going to die on you in Brazil," and blah 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 blah, I would have probably said, "Okay, bring it. I'm a tough guy. I can handle it."
Yeah.
No, I wasn't ready for none of it.
Yeah, no
But
shit.
guess
I
what?
wasn't ready for the story you told me, let alone live it.
But guess what? I did it.
Yeah, you did.
And I don't. like I said, I would give anything to have him back. But can I tell you another story real
Sure.
quick?
Yep.
So I was done with Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was 100% Brazil.
I would never go back. Yeah.
Brazil beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And Travis, the next year, Travis goes, "You going back?" And I laugh at him. Shit, no. And Travis, like I said, has a way to going, "Okay, cool." That's all he says. And you're expecting him to say something else, and he doesn't. Anyway, now we're around 2011.
Okay.
He goes, "You going this year?" And, my head kind of perks up, and maybe.
Back to
Oh,
Brazil?
I thought you didn't want to go. I thought it beat you.
Okay.
He's doing the kind of reverse psychology thing on me. Yeah, it did beat me, but maybe.
Maybe
What do you
I'm
think?
back.
Okay, maybe, that kind of thing, and that's how Travis is. He knows when to push and when not to, and he said, if you want to, you're more than welcome to go. Letting it be my decision, but pushing me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go, of course, with a big group this time, and well, to this day, anytime I go to the World Championships, I'm waiting for something to happen wrong.
Something bad. Yeah.
I'm going to World Championships. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to get hurt. That's my
it's
mentality.
a bad news.
Yeah, so I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why 23 was so big win for me.
Yeah, 2023.
But we go down to 11, and I end up winning brown belt division. Why, I don't know, because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And I find the driver because I'm looking
got him
for
back.
him.
Yeah, good.
And he said, "You don't owe me nothing. I'm doing it for me."
Okay.
So anyway, long story short, after the World Championship, we're in a bar in Rio de Janeiro, and I hear the word Jeff.
Okay.
Right.
Just the prostitute?
No, right. Yeah, if it was that deep voice, we'd be in trouble. But I hear the word Jeff, and I look back at Travis and all of them, and they aren't looking at me at all.
Yeah.
And I hear Jeff, and I'm on the bottom floor of this bar, and I look up, and there's this dude on the rail up there yelling my name in a bar that I've never been to in Rio de Janeiro. And he walks down there and goes, "Who in the hell is this?" And it was the first dude that I rolled with in 06
Oh, really?
that was supposed to win.
Oh, the guy you beat.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
The very first dude. And he goes, "How you been, dude?" And I was like, how in the hell? It's been
5 years.
5 years since I've seen you. I've seen you once in my life.
And he remembered.
And you remembered me. And I asked him that. I said, "How in the hell?" He goes, "I will never, ever forget you." And I took a picture of him, still got it today. We're friends on Facebook. Pardon me, I don't know his name because I'm
all right.
nervous right now, But it was just a good closure
Yeah.
to what happened.
That is a good closure.
Yeah.
And I think we got to close right now. We're going to come back for part 2.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes, sir.
you so much, Jeff Owens. Where can everybody find you?
Thank you.
You teach at Travis Luter's.
I'm there at Travis Luter's 2 times a week.
What's the
Saturdays for sure?
What's the website?
TravisLuter.com.
TravisLuter.com.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Owen, black belt, world champion. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to come back another time in the next couple months and finish this story out.
All right. Appreciate it,
All right.
man.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Bye-bye.
YALLCAST disclaimer. Welcome to YALLCAST, where opinions are strong, the coffee is stronger, and absolutely nothing you hear should replace your doctor, lawyer, therapist, or your grandmother's advice. Everything you see or hear here on the podcast, videos, live streams, all of it is for entertainment and information purposes only. The thoughts and opinions you hear belong to whoever is talking and not necessarily to YALLCAST, our partners, affiliates, sponsors, or the great state of Texas. We try to get things right, but hey, like you, we're human, and all information provided is as is, with no reps, warranties, guarantees, and definitely no refunds if you take it too seriously. So if you make a life decision based on this show, we hope it's a good one, but that's on you.
Nothing here counts as medical, legal, financial, or relationship advice. If you need that, please go talk to a professional. Sometimes we shout out to brands or products. Most of the time, that's just conversation. But yes, occasionally it's stuff we use every day and genuinely love. YALLCAST and everyone involved here are released, indemnified, and held harmless from whatever happens next. We're just here to make you think, laugh, and maybe question blue light or your Wi-Fi connection. So listen smart, laugh loud, and remember, if you're looking for legal or medical advice, you're on the wrong podcast.